Hello fellow traders, greetings from Port Richway. This is Satya NR, your fellow trader. This series is from Basic Concepts. This is a part 2 series regarding the financial capital. The title is How Much Money You Require to Trade. In the part 1, as a recap, I told you the way in which I evolved. I had categorized into 3 steps: conventional way, pragmatic way, half-baked, and pragmatic way, enlightened. In the conventional way, we just see only the brokerage margin or the money what we have. That's what we saw last time, and I realized that that's not sufficient enough, and the direction should be towards preserving the emotional capital to preserve the financial capital. So let's get started with the next evolution of my trader with respect to the financial capital. So irrespective of the capital what we have or what we tend to part with, what we tend to invest for the trading, the system says, the majority of the management system says that your financial capital has to be based on something that's known as a trade capital. What we mean by trade capital is each and every trade what you are going to take, that should have a specific capital which should get reflected to a financial capital. This very small step in understanding has made a huge difference in my approach as far as the financial capital is concerned, as far as the complete trading itself is concerned, the money in which I invest. You can have a different percentage of a capital, trade capital, either it could be 1%, some people say that it should be 3%, some people say that it should be 2%, but irrespective of it, the concept of having each trade is a part and parcel of a major financial capital, and that should be clearly mentioned in your mind and whenever you take up a trade, either a buy or a sell. I follow a system where I use 1% of a capital, which means that it is going to be 1/100th of the financial capital. If my financial capital is going to be 100 rupees, that means my trade is going to be just 1 rupee in each. Or thinking opposite, what I say as a reverse thinking, if you want to trade 1 rupee, then you should have 100 rupees in your pocket. That's the way we should see it. So once I realized that the trade capital 1% is what I'm going to stick on with, then the next question is how to designate this 1%. What this 1% means. Then I came across the story of the stop loss, the complete storyline of the stop loss, because the moment I go in depth with the trade capital, the first line which most of the successful traders, most of the textbooks says is, you first clearly state in your journal, in your mind, in your trading system, in your trading career, how much of money are you willing to lose. This statement was actually taken me back, frankly speaking, because I wanted to enter into the trading career to make money, but the first and foremost step all the financial management system says, you first tell us how much you are prepared to lose. If you don't have a clear concept of what you are prepared to lose, then there is absolutely no way that you can gain. It took quite a long journey for me to understand this concept. So just a part of it I will share with you, the most important thing which I thought it could be useful to many traders out there. So you can save a huge amount of time in your lifeline as a trader. So coming back, let's come to my own example, 1% of the trade capital, which I am going to make it as per the stop loss. So supposing once we have decided the stop loss, if it is going to be a 1%, then my financial capital is going to be broker's margin plus stop loss into 100 trades. So I think we will go into an example. I'll go into an example to exactly say how much it is going to be for a different instruments. But the bottom line is broker's margin, if it is going to be, let us say, about 1.5 lakhs or so, plus if your stop loss is going to be 2 or 3 rupees, that means into 100 trades 300 rupees plus the broker margin. This is just an arbitrarily I am saying, but let us get this one dissected and directly see the chart and see how much do you require for each of the different instruments. Now for the broker margin calculator, now this is what I have done. Let's say that this is a chart, HDFC chart, future. This is what I would like to trade. So two concepts, if you see, go back to our slide. Let me see. We have to identify the stop loss. This identification of the stop loss, amount of the loss which you are mentally prepared to lose in any given trade. It should not make any difference to you if you lose the trade. That's what exactly it means by the stop loss. How do we calculate this? There are different ways of doing a stop loss. I use a simple technique which I find it to be extremely useful, which is reliable, which is time tested, and which has proven to be a big boon for my trading career. So the stop loss usually is made as a price action trader at the lowest or the highest of the swing. Supposing if you want to enter a trade here, please follow the cursor. If you want to enter the trade on 28th at 11:30 at this candle, then your stop loss, that is for shorting, your stop loss should be above this. That's a very common terminology which majority of the traders follow. Another way of doing it is to know how much this candle can move in a day, which is actually said as an ATR. This is an average true range. What do you mean by average true range? Is the candle can move maximum of this particular level, that is from this 888 rupees on this day, it has moved up to 903 rupees. So when you put all this candle movement, each of the candle minimum and maximum movement, and when you take an average, that is known as an ATR, which you will find in this, when you go to the studies, you can see here ATR, the average true range. In fact, based on the average true range, you can also, what is known as you see here, ATR trailing stops. I am putting the ATR trailing stops. You can see here, you can see the red marks. This is the ATR stops. And here this is another ATR stop, but I am removing this because I am not following the ATR stop, since I am very much keen on understanding the logic rather than understanding just a number. So the criteria 1, ATR, the average true range. Supposing when you want to trade on 29th, this is a 29th is a trade day. Let us say this is a 29th. We are going to trade the 5 minutes period. So let me zoom it. We are going to trade 5 minutes period. So on 28th or just past 4-5 days, scroll through and see what is the maximum ATR. Now for example on 28th, if you see the cursor, the ATR is around 5.5, which means on this day on 28th, approximately most of the candle has moved around 6 rupees. That's a range, 6 points. So when it is going to be a 6 points move, we can expect even on the next day, on an average, it will have a 6 point move per candle, but it can always have an outliers. For example, on this candle, it is slightly more than 6. On the contrary, on the next candle, it is less than 6, but average is 6. So the stop loss is usually made as 1 ATR. 1 ATR means we expect, that's a very conservative amount of saying 1 ATR. So either you can go for 1 ATR, which means the stop loss is approximately around 6 points in this chart, Or another way is to keep the bottom of the swing. So supposing if you put this bottom of a swing, if you want to go for a shorting here, let us assume it is 939 if you see the point, and if you are going to put somewhere here, it's around 945, let us say 944 or something like that, which means again it is around 8 points or so. Suppose let us take one more example. Let us say that I want to go for a long here. I see some of the characteristic of the entry points for the long. So the trade opened at 27th on this date, 9:15. It touched the EMA and it bounced back, and there is a good bullish candle. So on the break of this, I want to enter. So the price is 859, and if my hypothesis is correct, then it should not come below this swing low, which is approximately around 852, around 7, which means 7 points. So we have already seen the ATR is 6. It is slightly more than that, lower swing. Or sometimes if you think the whole of this movement started from this area, so if you are going to put your stop loss underneath this, that means it's 844, this is around 858, around 14 points, which means it is calculated as 2 ATR approximately. So the concept of the stop loss, what I follow, which has proven to be very precise, is based on the average true range. You can actually keep 2 ATR and comfortably play without the stop loss getting hit if your prediction is right, if your hypothesis is right, if your direction analysis is right. If it is going to touch the 2 ATR, then you can be sure that your direction has been wrong, then you are bound to exit the trade. So I hope you understand the concept in which this is part of the trade management, the stop loss, but I am parting little bit of the knowledge with you so you understand how we are going to use this stop loss for the financial capital, because we are talking about the financial capital here. For a long period of time, I was not able to understand as a price action trader the relationship between this ATR and this low or the high of the swing, because many of the textbooks says, some textbooks follow the concepts of 2 ATR or 3 ATR. Many price actions traders, great people, follow just low of the swing, and they take a call as the time goes by, as the trade goes by. If you understand the basic concepts, if you have gone through the basic concepts of our mentorship program, you should realize by now, you require 2 most important candles for us to enter the trade, which means we need to have a signal candle, which I have told you many times, and that signal candle has to be followed by a follow through candle or an entry candle. If it is proven, then we make a trade. So the bottom line is, if you have 2 candles, that means you can enter a trade. If you do not have a follow through candle, then you will not be able to enter a trade. Now what is this relationship of the signal candle and a follow through candle and a stop loss and an ATR? After almost, I think, trading for many sessions, I never observed it at an early level. Then I started correlating 2 ATR is nothing but it is a representation of a signal and an entry candle. It is as simple as that. When I found that fact that 2 ATR, that means we are giving a buffer of 2 candles of an average time range, which is essentially, as a price action trader goes by saying, you should first have a signal candle, then you should have an entry candle. Once you have a follow through candle or an entry candle, then you make an entry, either a long or a short, and you keep your stop loss above the signal candle, which is nothing but a minimum of around 2 candle above minimum, I am telling. And as an ATR, we assume that whether it's going to be a small candle or a big candle, we are not bothered, because we are going to put it as an average true range candle, and we go by that. I go by 2 ATR. So whether it's going to be a 2 ATR or whether it is going to be a stop loss based on the low or an high of the swing, about more than 90 to 95% of the time the values are the same, since the concepts gels itself. So I hope you are clear with this concept of the stop loss, how exactly it is derived at. Now for the broker margin, let's come back to the broker margin. This is a broker margin as on this date. I am calculating for an HDFC Bank broker margin. It has actually a 500 lot. So which means for a 500 lot future, I require approximately around 1,11,100 rupees. This is a broker margin what is required. So I have calculated two things as per what is required in my financial capital. So coming back to this example, the broker margin is 1,11,000 approximately. Our stop loss was, let me go through again, our stop loss is 2 ATR stop loss is approximately around, this is, let us say that 5.62 it is showing. I'm checking in this ATR, please have a look. 5.4, let us round it to 6, that means 2 ATR, 6 into 6 is 6 plus 6 into 6 plus 6 is 12, and 12 is going to be the 2 ATR, but 12 into not the 100 trades. Before 100 trades we have to make one more calculation, because we are going to do the future contract. It is going to be a 500 contract, so that means it is going to be 12 into 500. So to make it easy, let me make it 10 into 500, which is approximately around 5,000 rupees. So 5,000 rupees per trade is approximately your risk or your stop loss, which is what we are trying to define. I hope you are able to get the point. Suppose if I want to enter a trade here, I am going to risk my trade capital for this one trade, 1% is going to be 5,000 rupees. I hope it is quite simple and understandable. This is based on 2 ATR. To be more precise, you will have to put 12 into 5, 6,000 rupees. Or if you are going to go for the eye of the swing, in this particular case, maybe 8. Irrespective of it, whether you are going to follow the eye of the swing or the low of the swing, I think you should have by now got the concept for deriving to a financial capital. So for this particular instrument, an HDFC Bank instrument for a June futures, the capital will be, the stop loss will be based on this 6,000 rupees. Now going back to our equation, broker margin is 1,10,000 rupees, stop loss is going to be 5,000 rupees per trade, and we are going to put 1%, that means it is going to be around 5,000 into 100 rupees, plus it is going to be margin, broker margin, which means you should have preferably 5 lakhs from the stop loss plus approximately 1.1 lakh from the broker margin. Only then you will be able to arrive to a financial capital for this particular instrument, if you are going to trade the instrument of HDFC future. That's why they say that future is going to be expensive, little more expensive. Supposing, let us say that I want to trade Bank Nifty index, because the index is going to be little less, there is going to be the lot is going to be less. Now in this Bank Nifty lot, I have calculated the broker margin is again 91,000 rupees. Because of the volatility of late, the broker margin for the intraday and the normal positional is the same now. Otherwise in the intraday it will be much less, around 50,000 rupees or sometimes even 30 to 40,000 rupees. So let us assume that 91,000 rupees is for the Bank Nifty. Let us go back to our stop loss. Approximately what is going to be the stop loss? I am going to see the ATR here. The ATR is approximately showing around 98 rupees, which means 100 rupees, let us put 2 ATR, it's going to be, you can go in for 1 ATR, but it is too tight, the stop loss, there will be a lot of whipsaws and you will not be able to sustain in the trade very precisely. 2 ATR means it is going to be 200 rupees and you have a lot of, let us go for the lot size calculation, we have a lot of 20. So which means we have to again calculate 200 into 20 is going to be the lot. So for each of the trade, we are going to have a stop loss of 4,000 rupees. And if it is going to be a 4,000 rupees for the Bank Nifty, we are going to put in here 90,000 rupees plus 4,000 into 100, which is around 4 lakhs, approximately around 5 lakhs rupees again. So when I started thinking in this particular way, then I realized too many things. It started bombarding on my mind. One is a huge amount of financial capital that is required if you want to be in the trade, if you want to enter a trade, which means ideally you should have around 5 lakhs rupees. Is it possible to have a financial capital less than 5 lakhs rupees? I think we will go into some more examples at a later time that it is possible to a certain extent to go in for a little more conservative capital, but in a pragmatic way, as I was evolving, the information what I gathered, that with this particular margin, if I am going to have, then I should be able to execute the trade very precisely, mainly to preserve my emotional capital. Because if I lose my emotional capital, what I mean by losing the emotional capital is, moment you feel little bit of your money is draining out from your account, it's like water leaking drop by drop from the tap which is not closed properly. One drop at a time, after a certain time you realize the whole water tank is empty. You will never realize the importance of a one drop, but slowly, little by little, all of your financial capital will get drained. Moment you start seeing that financial capital is slowly getting drained, you realize that you can never be a trader. All of your dream as a trader is totally get demolished. So that is the reason why the emotional capital has to be preserved. And the very good formula what I learned, what is given in very many textbooks, if you really go through, is what I am showing it before you, and it's again a time tested one. Broker margin plus stop loss into 100 trades because of 1%. But in spite of calculating all these things, still I was not able to preserve my emotional capital. Let me share with you why it is. On the first trade, supposing this is a set of trade of 7 in my sequence, my trading, the first trade was a green profit, second trade I lost, third trade again was a profit. I was happy that something is happening, but I was already jittery. I was thinking what is going to happen in my fourth trade. Fourth trade was a loss, fifth was a loss, sixth was a loss, and seventh was a loss. When I started having consecutive losses of about 4, I stopped trading. Because my financial capital was draining, my emotional capital drained miserably, I thought I am a loser already. At this point of time, I stopped again. I stopped and I was thinking what exactly is happening to me. Moment I started losing little bit, I realized that I tend to lose more and more. So this was the link between an emotional capital and the financial capital, what great people have been saying. Moment you gain little bit, moment there was a green on the first trade, I was really having an euphoric effect. Moment I see a second trade loss, I went in for a loser's effect. So this seesaw movement of a euphoric effect, fear factor, then the greed factor actually keeps going up and down. After a certain period of time, even a slightest tip towards one of the factor will drain you down emotionally, which will reflect very much on your financial capital. So this is what was totally happening to me in a pragmatic way, which I called as a pragmatic way, half-baked, and I failed again. In spite of analyzing so much, in spite of making an importance of understanding the concept of financial capital, in spite of making importance of a trading capital, in spite of saying 1% that is required for the trading capital, all this put together, still I was failing in my trade. So this is the end of part 2 session. Signing off, Satya NR, your fellow trader. In the next session, I will be discussing with you how exactly I overcome the difficulties, how I was able to overcome the emotional capital. I have a complete control over emotional capital, which I am sure will be extremely useful for you to be your own alchemist as a trader. Thank you very much for your valuable time. See you in the next session.